Hello and welcome to Darling Straight Oval this afternoon for round 20 of the PlayStation 4 NPL Northern New South Wales. Third placed Hamilton Olympic up against Valentine Phoenix this afternoon. Hamilton Olympic, they will be looking to cement their spot in the finals. Valentine, they'll be looking to give themselves a chance of playing in finals football. CT, Chris Turner is with me in commentary. What are your thoughts on the game, CT?
I think it's going to be an interesting game today, but the conditions are good. I can tell you that. We were expecting a lot warmer day than what it is, but it's certainly not that way. Look, just quickly, Olympic are coming out in good form, and also Valentine are looking for a big game today.
Well, we're going to head down onto the ground. Damien Smith is with Valentine coach Darren Sills. We'll head down there now.
Okay, I've got Darren Sills, head coach of Valentine Phoenix, mate. Third versus fourth today, very tight race for the premiership. What are your thoughts on today's game?
Look, we're excited to play here, mate. It's this club's not been in this position before. We're desperately wanting to prove everybody wrong. We've got predictions that we've printed up. They're in the sheds in there, second last and last for three of the so-called experts. And this mob was supposed to come first in all three. So, look, we're really looking forward to it. We're at full strength, so there's no excuses today.
Okay, mate. We wish you all the best.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Thank you. Back to you, Bart.
Thanks, Smudge. So Darren Sills, there's his thoughts on the match for this afternoon. They haven't played in a week and a half, Valentine. They've had 2 weeks off since their last match. They last played against Maitland in round 18. A 2-2 draw there. They missed last weekend's match against the Jets Youth because they played that a week and a half earlier. They won that 3-2, of course, the Jets over in China. They've returned from the Weifang Cup. Good performances over there from them. And a really good learning experience. But this afternoon, we've got Trent Nash as our referee. CT, the weather, it's been a little strange today. We're expecting temperatures around 26 degrees. It's only sitting at 20 at the moment. But the sun just coming out behind the clouds. The wind, 20 kilometres now from the north-northwest, so behind Valentine in this first half.
Feels like a good spring day today, even though we're not there yet, but it's
only a month away.
Westerly feel about it, the ground, and so I was expecting it to be a bit warmer, so it's actually the conditions are very pleasant for the players today.
So it'll be Valentine in their orange kit to get us underway. In this one, from left to right of screen, Valentine in the blue. The contrast is wonderful between these two kits. And earlier in the season, these two sides met in round 9. A 1-1 draw. Grant Brown scoring a goal in the final minutes to earn Hamilton a share of the points after Jalen Brown put Valentine ahead. And it will be Jalen Brown to get us underway. Daniel Miners quickly looking long and forward for Josh Murray, but it'll just trickle too deep and over for a goal kick. Boys, it's been a while since Valentine won here at Darling Street. Can they turn it around and get a huge victory over Hamilton, which would basically ensure that they play finals?
It's going to be tough for Valentine. They normally play on a big pitch out their ground, and this is going to be significantly different, so they'll have to change the way they go about their business. They'll need to be playing a lot shorter as they're doing and play it on the deck more often and relying on close ball control as opposed to large running spaces. So that's going to be a major difference for them.
Yeah, talking to Darren Sills just prior to the game, they're quite confident on the smaller pitch. They're looking forward to it. They've been playing on their big pitch, Cahill, and they've done very well out there because it's a difficult pitch to play on. But, they're looking forward to the smaller pitch. They've got players like Matty Paul, Scott McGillney, Daniel Mines in the centre of the park who can bounce the ball off each other and, get a few triangles in there. So, it's going to be a massive game for both teams.
Yeah, I don't think it'll upset them at all. I think what it will do is just change the way they play, but they've got the ability to do that, so it shouldn't be a problem.
There's Matt Paul going to McGinley, and Riley Russell, who's a left back. He was so impressive going up against Josh Dutton-Black in that last match. Valentine's 13 out there on the ball now. Steps away from Matt Swan. Now with Reese Pappas. Goes wide and finds Cooper infield for Bird. He squares it across the face. Grant Brown was there, but just a little deep. He goes back to Marcus Duncan. Rumours that he might be playing in Victoria next season. Marcus Duncan did spend a season there last year. Scott Smith. And over the sideline. They've won 4 straight Hamilton Olympic and 5 of their last 6. It's been a wonderful run of form. The only loss in all of those was against Lambton, a 3-2 loss where it was a really strange match of football.
Yeah, and they probably should have got the result that day too.
Yeah, Sean Pratt hit the post about 4 times. They were up 1-0 at half-time. And 3-1. It was just after the break before Kane Goodchild scored one of the goals of the season. But it wasn't enough for them that afternoon, so...
Well played by Olympic just then.
Here's Grant Brown, and now Smith. Nice ball to Brown. Reese Cooper in the middle, he squares it up. Daniel Bird arriving late. And interesting here, boys, Kane Goodchild. He's on the bench. We saw 2 weeks ago against Edgeworth. Scott Smith was on the bench, and Kane Goodchild started up front with Reese Cooper. This week, it's the opposite. Smith starting, Goodchild on the bench. Why?
Talking to Mick Bolch prior to the game and even last night, Goodchild, he's had a few work commitments in the last few weeks, so it's been a bit tough for him to get the training. So obviously Bolch is just keeping everyone on their toes, and I think it's a fair move. It'll be interesting to see the combination between Scott Smith and Reese Cooper.
So Alec Faulkner now. Faulkner. Chipping it forward. And now with Davies. Threads it through for Smith.
So what I'd like to see...
Here's Faulkner. Up and over the top. Andrew Swan. Now to McGinley. Now Hodges away for Olympic. Matt Paul, wide for Wilson Edwards. Scored once this year against Lambton Jaffers. Also played formerly at West End in Wilson Edwards as Daniel Miners. Chipping one wide. Another former Lambton player after the ball. Down towards the corner, and Josh Murray keeps it in at Grant Brown. Has to take them on up the line. How important do you think that goal could be in the context of this season to both of these sides, that goal that Grant Brown scored in the final minutes against Valentine in round 9, Smudge?
I'm unsure. Yeah,
it's 3 points lost for Valentine there, and a point gained for Olympic.
But then if you look at Jalen Brown's goal with 10 men 2 weeks ago against Maitland to equalise, that's 2 points. That's 2 points probably lost for Maitland as well. So it's
swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, swings and roundabouts. So in the end, it's what points you got at the end of the season. So
well, that's exactly it, Smudge. I mean, what teams are doing here is, you know, that. You can say every week about, you know, if we got this or that happened or that goal or that missed opportunity or that save. But at the end of the day, you're exactly right. It's the points you've got in the bag, and that's what you're working with, especially this time of the year when you're in must-win situations like Valentine are.
Yeah, and Bart, you can go back to the game Hamilton versus Maitland just a few weeks ago, where Hamilton weren't really in it until the last 10 minutes, and they gained an extra point there. So
that's what Hamilton have done so well this year. They've salvaged points where they probably haven't deserved them.
Yep.
And that is the mark of a quality football side.
Oh, exactly.
Tom Davies goes back to Kyle Hodges now.
And it's like Edgeworth. They beat teams that you have to beat. They don't drop points against teams that they're expected to beat.
Hodges has started well again for me. He's had lots of touches on the ball, not under any pressure, but just keeping things moving. And he's directing his team around and just keeping things flowing and moving, giving them confidence.
Now he's almost overtaken Barry Park as the most capped Hamilton Olympic player without scoring a goal. Barry Parks played 121 matches for no goals. Kyle Hodges has played 113. So he's got a couple left this season after this match, so we'll get to 116. Finals. If they make the grand final, he'll potentially get to 119. So he has re-signed for Hamilton Olympic for next season under Pete McGuinness.
We've got Pete McGuinness in the stands today, boys. We're hoping to catch up with him later in the game.
And just on Kyle Hodges, he's only 29 years of age, so he's got quite a few years left in him. He's a fit guy, so I think he's got at least another 3-4 seasons at least.
I'd try and get a goal.
Here's Kyle Hodges.
Just going back to Hamilton's shape, they've got Reece Cooper and Scott Smith up front. I'd like to see either Reece Cooper or Scott Smith, one of them just not staying high, just dropping into the pockets, able to turn and play a few 1-2s.
Well, that's the beauty of Goodchild, isn't it?
Oh,
there's a nice turn from Smith, almost releasing Swan.
And that's what we're saying, dropping just into the pockets, turning and facing up, not having both stuck forward, because they're easy to mark if they're like nice and high.
Look how deep Smith is at the moment. Just as he distributed that ball back to Davies, he's now pushed forward as Daniel Bird. In a duel with Riley Russell. Russell doing well, probably deserves the free kick and wins it in the end.
That's the comment I was going to make before about Goodchild. He does that well, Smudge, where he drops out of that front line straight in behind and upsets the defence by pulling them out of shape and gets in positions to pick it up. And he's strong enough to hold the ball so play can catch up to him, and it's a real asset to his game.
6 years to the date.
Whoa.
As this ball back, Tyler Warren under a little bit of pressure.
He's been very good this year, Tyler Warren.
Marcus Duncan went back to them. They haven't conceded in 253 minutes. That shows you how good he has been. But here's a chance for Valentine. Murray towards the back post, but there's no one there. So 4 hours and 13 minutes. That's 2.5 matches that Hamilton have not conceded in. Last week, a 3-0 win over Western. The week before, 1-0 over Edgeworth. And the week before that, a 2-1 win over Charlestown, but they conceded in the 17th minute. So they've been rock solid. It's getting back to the defence that they had last year. As Duncan again, this time his clearance straight to Murray.
That's the thing with this ground. It's unforgiving. If you make a mistake, it's such a short ground, you can go on the attack pretty quickly, and you're not far from goal.
It's quick, and it looks a little bit bumpy and running about 3 on a centimetre by the look of the eye, and I think that players will struggle with that as they go.
Wilson Edwards goes face over Apex. Round 8 it was, the match we did here between Western and Hamilton. Greg Anderson learnt that one pretty quickly. Made a mistake with the back passes. Here's Grant Brown. Swan making the move. And Daniel Miner's there to intercept. Scott Smith has a snap and just sprays it wide.
So that's twice Grant Brown's made that forward run in behind. He's been one-on-one with the keeper. I'd like to see him go for goal. He's got space there.
And we know he can shoot.
Yeah, he can score goals. So I'd like to see him have a crack for goals rather than crossing, because the defence is actually holding off him and there's space to go straight at goal.
You just wonder the mindset for him in that particular occasion. He had a delightful ball. I think it was from Cooper.
Yeah.
And whether he's just playing the unselfish movement there, he played it across the goals for trying to set up the opportunity. But yeah, I agree that was a good opportunity for him to actually go at goal and have a crack.
Yeah, it's happened twice. So
here's Murray. The touch to McGinley. Down towards the corner. Into the middle. Tyler Warren. Chris Brown was putting him under pressure, and he's come out of that a little ginger. Maybe you've received a knee in the back, maybe in the hip.
It's a little bit out of character for Chris Brown to follow through like that. Just not sure what was behind that one.
Wilson Edwards. Now to Paul. Yeah, I think I was talking about it previously. 6 years. Here's Pappas with a touch. I'll come back to that. Reece Cooper across the face, but no one there. Is that disappointing for Olympic to have no one in there?
Well,
it happened quick, didn't it?
It just yeah, that's exactly right. It just happened too quick, and the play was got away, and nothing really else for Cooper to do other than have a shot. Maybe he could try and cut back inside, but the opportunity was there.
Here's Jalen Brown. Off down the left edge. Tom Davies coming across to track him. Still Brown across the face and wins a corner, so we'll come back to that stat now. 6 years to the date that Valentine last beat Hamilton at, it was Wednesday, the 3rd of August, 2011.
Wow.
3-2 at Carl Oval.
Wow.
So it's been a while. Hamilton have won 5 of their last 8 matches against Valentine and undefeated in those last 8. It's Daniel Miners chips one towards Reese Pettit. Scored in their last match. His first for Valentine in the top grade. Didn't score last season. Swan.
So boys,
given a bump on Matt Paul. Matt Paul coming in and giving away the free kick.
Boys, we talk about combinations up front with strikers like Goodchild and Smith up front, but I don't mind mixing up with like Goodchild and Cooper, or Cooper and Smith, because Cooper gives something different to the two big boys up front. He makes them runs beyond the back four, like he did and had a chance just earlier. So
does it keep those two on their toes as well, Goodchild and Smith?
100%.
And do you think you get better performances out of them by doing that?
Oh, yes and no. Yes and no.
Well, competition for spots is always really good. We know that.
That's right.
That's common. What the thing about Cooper, he's particularly skillful, and so he keeps the back lines guessing, because you just don't know what he's going to do.
He's very elusive. So are the two other boys. They're quite elusive as well. But
correct.
Yeah,
yep.
but he's a very good player.
Here's Wilson Edwards and goes to Josh Murray. Do you feel this Olympic side now, as Matt Paul, wide to McGinley, down to the corner, it'll be a Hamilton throw. Do you feel, in comparison to the start of the season, I know they've had a few players leave, they've had players come back from injury, do you feel this side out there at the moment for Olympic is a lot more balanced than what they had at the start of the season?
Yeah, 100% agree. But also the shape, the formation, they're playing like a 5-3-2. I think that suits the players they've got on the side. Ooh.
Jalen Brown, that's how quickly it can happen. He just lashed at it and very nearly dipping into the top corner. And that's just that piece of individual skill from Jalen Brown that he's shown constantly this season. 12 goals.
And the thing with Jalen Brown, every time he gets the ball, he looks dangerous, doesn't he?
Let's take nothing away from Seven Swan there. He did a fantastic job in getting his body in front of Jalen Brown, and made it more difficult for him. I thought Brown actually made it look easier than what it was. So, yeah, he had a terrific game here a fortnight ago when we were here, and he's shaping up that way again.
Just on...
Reese Cooper. Here's his American counterpart, Alec Faulkner, putting the ball over the goal line.
Just on Seven Swan, or Matt Swan as he's also known as CT. He's got different boots on today. Normally wears his nice white clean boots, but unfortunately he's wearing they're actually Scott Smith's boots today. He actually left his boots at home, so not a great start to the day.
I always ask the question when guys leave, how do you leave your boots at home?
Here's Reese Pappas. Gee, that had a bit of curl on it.
Smudge, can we get a bit more on that? You just don't walk out to a football match without your boots.
Have you ever forgotten your boots?
Never.
You've obviously not, CT, but have you, Smudge, ever forgotten your boots?
No way. How do you forget your boots? That's
Yeah, I don't understand either.
Magic up 1-0. James Vigili scored.
Now we're going to get an update at halftime in that match from Gary Fisher, who is up there.
Oh, cool.
So we'll have a chat to him at halftime. Live here on Bar TV this afternoon. Hamilton Olympic and Valentine, just over a quarter of an hour gone, and pretty even out there at the moment.
It's another great crowd in here this afternoon for this match. I think it just represents what it actually means, this game, for both sides, both clubs. Just while we're on crowds, we mentioned my brother Animal from time to time, normally snout in trough, enjoying a lager while he's watching Bar TV. But he's just had a knee replacement, full knee replacement 2 weeks ago, so he'll be sitting at home watching a little bit ginger this afternoon, Bart.
Yes, very ginger. Scott McGinley, just like a few of us this afternoon. Chris Brown, Maurice Pappas going through the middle, Riley Russell. You're a bit ginger, aren't you, CT? You had a big day of golf this morning.
Yeah, but not as ginger as you and your rowing efforts today. How many kilometres did you row today, Bart?
It was only about 50, maybe.
50 kilometres, and I did question your hands when you turned up, why they were so blistered, and that was the reason we got back.
no surprises from that game up at Maitland. We said, Smudge just said, Magic have scored. Mitch Oxborough with the ball onto James Vigili.
That's happened about at least 5 times out of the, 6 or 7 games that Oxborough started.
And I was speaking to Ruben Zadkovic during the week about Mitch Oxborough and whether he would start or not. And Ruben wasn't so sure, but I thought he was just playing it.
Yeah, he's just playing. He's
some mind games. Some mind games. Oxborough's last game before he heads up to Brisbane. He will not play FFA Cup, as if he plays for Magic, he won't be able to play for Brisbane Roar. And that's really a good opportunity, isn't it, for Mitch Oxborough, playing those FFA Cup matches for Brisbane Roar. Show what he's got to John Aloisi.
Yeah,
as
for
this
sure.
ball over the top, Jalen Brown beats Kyle Hodges, and Tyler Warren is awake to the danger. And we've been impressed with Tyler Warren and how great he has been in goals for Hamilton Olympic this season. But equally as impressive, we know Scott Carter's in goals for Valentine, but he missed a chunk of the season. And Perry Budden played in goals, and he's a great young keeper as well. So the future is bright in the competition for young goalkeepers.
Don't forget, we've got Nate Cavalieri, which you used to say Cavalier, but Cavalieri. At Edgeworth, he's been having a fantastic season also.
Didn't he play well on Wednesday night?
He was brilliant on Wednesday night. I thought he was a class above. He was excellent.
Now let's not talk too much about Wednesday night, because I think we're all still getting over what happened to Riley Russell.
Yeah, we're hoping to have Damien Zane for a quick chat at about 3 o'clock, so just talk about Wednesday night. Ooh.
There's Tom Davies and Jalen Brown. Davies tripping over there. Don't know if he was bumped by Brown. It looked like he may have been. Something to watch this afternoon. There's Daniel Bird, surely a handball, and is. So tight. Probably, and I know a lot of people spoke about that Hamilton-Edgeworth game, about that it wasn't a very interesting game, but it was such a tactical arm wrestle that it was interesting to watch, wasn't it?
I actually really enjoyed it. I thought, tactically, I thought Bolch had the better of Zane on the day. I thought Edgeworth played way too narrow, and the 5-3-2 actually worked really well for Hamilton. They used the width well, and they just shut Edgeworth out. They're the first team to do it this year.
Yeah, totally agree with that, and didn't stop. 15 minutes to go in the game either. They continued on with that, and they went the whole 93 or 4 minutes that it went for, and it was a very impressive effort by them. Yeah,
the only other side to keep Edgeworth scoreless was Maitland earlier in the season. Pappas lays it off Andrew Swan. He was under pressure from Wilson Edwards, and he just skews his shot.
Very good pressure by Wilson Edwards.
As well as Hamilton have played in recent weeks, their home record is such a surprise. They've been better away from home than they have here at Darling Street. 34 points this season, 20 away from home, and just 14 at home.
I think with Darling Street, you're always in the game because of the small pitch. Doesn't matter who you're playing, they're always in the game. You can score a goal from halfway here. And corners, you can nearly actually bend the ball in. It's like once you get a corner, you're under pressure, or the opposition is under pressure.
Over the top from Faulkner. Tyler Warren comes out and clatters into Reece Pettit, and also Grant Brown. No, it's not Grant Brown, it's Marcus Duncan, who is down in the box. He's come out, some friendly fire here. Oh, he's got Reece Pettit in the head. It's been a debate, a lot of debate has been about goalkeepers in recent years.
Let's have a look at this.
And these type of challenges where they come out, get the ball,
and follow
clatter through into the player. About player safety, a lot of people saying, well, there should be free kicks, there should be penalties, but it's tough, isn't it? You can't just change the way the ruling is made in one game, or everyone blows up. You've got to keep with the status quo.
Well, he needs to be careful with that, because he can also give away a penalty if he goes too far over the top. And he certainly wasn't pulling out.
But that's the thing I'm saying, CT, is it happens very rarely. A goalkeeper cleans up a player. Very rarely is a free kick.
Rarely, but it does happen, and so if if it is bad enough, it'll get blown. I still think that keepers, not just Tyler there, but keepers need to be careful of that.
Reece Pettit now on the ball. Takes on Pappas. Back to Edwards. Chips it forward. Jalen Brown nods it on to his namesake, Chris Brown, the Scottish Brown. There's now Kyle Hodges. What have I got here from Valentine? Their information they provided me at the start of the season. They said he was Scottish import from Dundee, and he's great on the bagpipes. Read into this what you wish. It says ex-junior bagpipe champion from Dundee. So there you go.
The wee nun.
I was talking to Darren Sills last night, and I bet you cannot guess what him and Jalen Brown got up to yesterday.
No idea.
I don't know. What you got to give us a.
Well, Jalen Brown actually took a Cessna for a fly at Cessnock Airport for an hour.
Is that right?
Yeah. So he's
So has he got his license? Has he?
No, he's trying to. I don't know. I don't know if this is true, but he says he wants to be an astronaut. So. Hey.
I don't know.
He was dead serious, I think.
Well, that's the thing with Darren Sills is he says something to you and you think he's dead serious, but then he's just taking the mickey out of you or having a joke with you.
Well, just speaking of Scotland with Chris Brown, this is not a joke, by the way. We were there 18 months ago and I went to buy some orange juice for my son at the supermarket, and I said, "Have you got any orange juice?" And the lady said, "Do you want the wee one?" And I said, "No, I want the orange juice one." And she just looked at me like, wow. True story.
Reece Pettit.
The wee one. Oh, and the orange juice in it.
Here's Scott Carter straight into Reece Cooper. It was as if he was trying to play the pass that Kieran Sanders played over the top for Kiko Moriyasu yesterday. If you've missed it, that was one of the balls of the season. Went with the outside of his boot over the top of the Bears' defence. Found Moriyasu.
He's a high-quality player, Sanders.
Absolutely, but I'll tell you what, Carter was very fortunate it landed where it did, because if it lands anywhere else, there were Olympic players scattered about.
Daniel Bird just hoofs it up the ground. Alec Faulkner does likewise. So a bit of long ball stuff for the moment. Now the ball back on the turf. Miners. Now Matt Paul. Matt Paul, he does so much running that this ground probably wouldn't suit him. Keeps everyone a little fresher, being
great touch.
A lot shorter. Reece Cooper. Now with Swan. Across the ground to Bird.
I'd like to see Bird a little bit wider there.
Swan over near the touchline. Back for Bird, who
great
threads
ball.
the needle. And Swanee was trying to find Reece Cooper.
Well read by Matt Paul.
Valentine away to it. Kyle Hodges at the back. So Olympic just applying a bit of pressure here. Defence sitting high. Grant Brown is unmarked on the left. And Marcus Duncan finds him. Does bobble off the pitch. Smith brings it down nicely. Wins the throw. It does look a little bumpier than usual, doesn't it, Darling Street?
Yeah, it's got a bit of a semi-final feel, this game. It's very tight at the moment.
Duncan into the middle. Now Matt Paul. You can see just in front of us on the ground is Matt Paul. He gives away the free kick with the handball. Thought he could have had one for a bit of a push in the back. McKinley with the interception. Yeah, the ground looking a little drier than usual. And that's basically because we've had no rain, have we? The last month, I'd probably say. We haven't had any washed out games at all since the opening few rounds of the season.
Yeah, as I said, it is running very quick, and it looks like to the eye about a 3 on the centimetre, but I noticed the bump in the ground as well. There's just a little bit, just that bobble Smudge was talking about is going to make it difficult for some occasions.
There's Carter, goes for the punch. That should run over the sideline. Now, CT, what is the stanometer? Can you explain?
It's the tool to measure the pace of the ground bar.
And what does this tool
great ball.
look like? I've never seen it. Scott Smith. And Carter's there. What does this tool look like, CT?
Well, it's a modern-day version of Tony Gregg's key, but
Okay, I see.
you can stick it into the ground. You get it in all sorts of sports, for golf, for the putting greens, horse racing for the turf, lawn bowls. List goes on.
And normally, when you
Different tools for different surfaces.
here's Jalen Brown, he gets ridden to ground, and surely there's a free kick warranted for Valentine. Was there, boys?
Well, Kyle Hodges, he's just bowled him over like he. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, I thought it was a free kick for sure.
Well, Brown's looking like he's got something he needs to run off here.
It's not the first time he's been shoved to ground this season. He cops a bit of treatment, as expected, for a player that scored 12 goals this year. Alec Faulkner. Now is Swan to his brother. Identical twin. It's Andrew Swan to Cooper. He looks up and sees Grant Brown, and it is running quickly, isn't it?
And as I was saying about Reece Cooper or Scott Smith, one of them can just drop in the hole, overload the midfield. They're going to find space. He's able to turn, and the ball just sort of ran out. I was unlucky. It was well played, but I was unlucky. The ball just, the centimetre, I think it's a bit faster than 3.
So what's the first hole on Merriweather? The putting green. What's that on the centimetre? Just so we can get a...
Well, it depends. It depends on the time of the year. You go in the summer, in the late afternoon, or Saturday afternoon, it could be running a 2. But, you cop it in the middle of the winter, it could be an 8 or a 9.
So the lower...
Racing terms, you heard a heavy 8.
Yep.
Ooh.
Swan.
So the lower,
I have
the quicker.
heard of the heavy 8 CT. I'm not a horse racing expert, but I have heard of that. As here is Alec Faulkner. 28.5 minutes. Gone at Darling Street. Nothing much to report as of yet. And it is 2-0 to Magic. Wow. They are unstoppable at the moment. And Magic's hopes of making the finals have taken another lift as Smith and Carter flies out. He's great in those situations, isn't he, Scott Carter?
Well, he's definitely not going to pull out, and he's just gone with good technique, and there's no fear there whatsoever.
He's sharp over 20 yards, Scott Carter.
He's a former Northern New South Wales futsal goalkeeper. Futsal, CT?
Futsal, you can play it off your sole and foot a lot. It's a bit like centimetre.
So there's Darren Seals. What a season he's had, Valentine coach. Exceeded expectations this year, even if they don't make the finals, but it'll be a bitter pill to swallow if they didn't.
He was quoted not so long ago saying he wanted to win the premiership, the minor premiership. So that's how dominant his performance has been.
Miners goes in. Swan gets brought down by Josh Murray. Here's Marcus Duncan now to Swan. McGinley quickly to harass Swan. Cooper is dispossessed.
I'd like to see Olympics play 1-2, then open it up out of the whole ACT.
Absolutely, and the guys that they've got wide, Bird and Brown, to use the width on this ground that's a bit tighter than normal.
So half an hour gone here, boys. Now, the match hasn't reached any great heights, CT. Who are you giving the points decision to at the moment? I know it's 0-0. Who's winning the points decision?
Well, look, for me, I think Olympic have had more dominance in and around the top third, or their attacking top third, and they've created a couple of opportunities more than Phoenix. So that's where I'd see it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Olympic's just shading it at the moment. It's very tight. Very tight.
So we've got a special guest. Smudge is just about to, just getting the headset on Damien Sane. There's Alec Faulkner. Back he goes to Reese Pettit, who knocks it up the ground. And Marcus Duncan. Now, as usually happens when we get a guest on Smudge, something exciting is bound to happen. We haven't had any excitement for 31 minutes, but it will happen now. So I'll pass it over to you to have a chat to Damien Zane, the Edgeworth Eagles head coach.
Yep, so I've got Damien Zane, Edgeworth Eagles head coach. Damien, heartbreaking Wednesday night against South Melbourne, mate. What were your thoughts on the game and the build-up and everything?
It was gut-wrenching, to be honest, but...
Here's Pappison. Smith is just offside. Well, there you go. Scott Smith, just offside. It always happens.
Hey, Damien,
Back
it
to
always happens. Whenever we interview somebody, something happens. So, yeah, going back.
Yeah, it was pretty gut-wrenching. I've never been in a shed after a game like that. It was, it was tough picking the boys up, but, we just said how proud we were of them, and, if we'd taken a few chances the first half, it might have been a different game, but unfortunately it wasn't.
Mate, you represented the Northern South Wales region very well. In the lead-up, you obviously didn't hear it on Foxtel. All they spoke about was South Melbourne this, South Melbourne that. But you guys just, honestly, first half, just took control and had the commentators virtually eating their words. But, yeah, like you said, you could have been a few up at half-time.
Here's Jalen Brown across the face. Another chance. They're coming thick and fast.
And second half was always going to be tough, obviously, away in Melbourne against the Victorian NPL guys who are leading the comp. But your back three in Birch, Wheeler and Josh Evans were outstanding.
Yeah, Aiden Bryce, I think is his name. But,
what did I say?
Birch.
Oh, sorry.
We were superb. Yes, I did get engaged. We were superb. We're under the pump. No, down in Melbourne, mate, after the game.
You're on the pump in the second half. Sorry about that.
Yeah, and I thought for how much ball they had, we defended really well, and we didn't allow too many clear-cut chances. So, but I think that's the difference. Around here, you miss a chance and you go, well, we'll get another one. At that next level, you don't just get as many chances as you want. You've got to take them, especially when you're away from home.
And Nate Cavalieri was outstanding. We thought he was just absolutely brilliant. He was a brick wall in that goals, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had a top game, and that's why we recruited him pretty much. So, yeah, he's probably the last, piece of the jigsaw puzzle.
Just hang on a sec here. This is huge. Daniel Miners is in all sorts. He was just signalling to the bench, and he is in a lot of trouble. He's not going to be able to continue here. He was signalling to the bench probably for about 30 seconds. And
looks like he's done his knee.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's putting weight through it, but
he knew it immediately.
Sometimes you hear a pop and it's nothing. It's just sort of the joint sort of moving a little bit. So he's putting good weight. He's putting good weight through it.
Yeah, we'll go back to you, Smudge. We'll keep an eye on him.
I think he's in trouble, isn't he? He's sort of. Yeah, Damien, and also, like, everyone was outstanding on the night. Everyone performed very, very well. But Kieran Sanders was a menace for South Melbourne, especially in that first half, wasn't he?
Yeah, again, when we first saw him, we thought he'd be a good fit in our team and be good in those big matches. And, yeah, he's probably, again, unlucky not to have a goal himself. So, yeah, he was. They all were. It was just a great effort by everyone, really.
Yeah, mate. It was a heartbreaking loss, but, mate, from behalf of us and North South Wales, you represented the region very well. But just on the NPL, you're 3 points ahead with 2 rounds to go. How many points do you need to go 3 in a row?
I think 40 will be enough with the goal difference as is, but win 2 and it's all over. So that's what we'll be trying to do.
And lastly, what are your thoughts? Who do you think's going to sneak into the 4? It's pretty tight, isn't it? It could go either way.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It could come down to the last match of the year. I think it's going to be a tough game next week. Valentine will have a lot to play for, so you'd have to say at this stage probably Valentine or Magic.
Yep. Magic's up 2-0 at Maitland at the moment, so obviously they're in the box seat as well. So Well, Damien Zane, thank you very much for your time. And we might see you next week for Match of the Round versus Valentine.
Yep, sounds good.
And good luck for the rest of the year, and see you make it 3 in a row.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, mate. Oh, sorry, just quickly, you got some special news for us. What happened in Melbourne?
Got engaged. Brooke's been waiting a fair while, so good things happen to those that wait. So.
Oh, wow. Was it expected, or you gave a little surprise?
Yeah, it was. I'd planned it. After the loss, I was probably
Feeling sorry.
I was looking at not doing it because I was in a filthy mood, but no. Yeah, we've got 2 kids together, so it's about time.
Mate, on behalf of Bar TV, congratulations, mate, and congratulations to Brooke. She's a lovely girl.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Okay, mate.
See ya.
See you, buddy.
So Riley Russell with the throw. There's Pappas trying to thread it through. And that quick research, that was done by you, CT.
Oh, just flicking through Facebook and then having a quick look at Bart and Zanny were having a chat. Sorry, Smudge and Bart.
Smudge.
So Smudge and I'll get those 2 blokes, Zanny and Smudge.
Oh, no, you've had a big day. You've had a big day. Reece Pettit goes to Riley Russell. Here's Reece Kyra. We haven't called his name very often at all, the former Wanderers and Phoenix midfielder.
No, not at all. And he's getting plenty of game time today.
And that may be because he's just come onto the park for Daniel Miners. He's just come on Reece Kyra. There you go. I thought I was actually checking the team sheet and I thought he was starting, but no, he's just come on for Miners as Damien Zane was having a chat there. Here's Swan taking on Faulkner and Kyra in there to clear the ball away. We mentioned just recently he's come to the Phoenix, formerly in that A-League, the A-League Phoenix, Wellington, and played foundation player at the Wanderers. Marcus Duncan. And now Pappas. Swan. Header over the top. Smith sees Grant Brown with no one on him out to the left. And he just curls one to no one in particular. But Smudge, just on Damien Zane and Edgeworth, I know it was a gut-wrenching ride that we went on Wednesday night, but wasn't it a special night? I know they went down, but there was a lot of talk pre-game.
All about South Melbourne,
It was all about South Melbourne.
All about South Melbourne. But full credit to Edgeworth. They didn't sit back and just sort of soak the pressure up. They really took it to them in the first half. They were very impressive. Oh.
And Broadmeadow Magic, they play Moreton Bay on a Wednesday night and hoping they can get the win there and hopefully get a home match in the second phase of matches, the round 16 matches, round of 16.
Just talking to Damien Zane, do you know he's had that engagement ring for 2 years?
So did you find out who asked who?
He asked her.
Right.
Yeah. So it was always planned for Melbourne. So like he said, he sort of had wasn't in a good frame of mind after the game and the next day, but it was a great opportunity for him. So.
Would have improved his mood, wouldn't have it?
Yeah, and she's a lovely girl, Brooke. We were over there a few weeks ago, weren't we, Bart?
We were.
At their new place. So,
doing your little...
skip. Oh, great head
skip.
up.
Yeah, here's Reece Pappas. Still Pappas. That was an important interception and block from Wilson Edwards, because otherwise Cooper was going to be one-on-one with Scott Carter. 5 minutes now, less than 5 to go before the break. 2-0 the score in the other match at Maitland.
And talking about the other match, Mitch Oxborough from Magic, he has made a massive influence on Magic since coming into the side.
The question is, how will they perform without him? Can they continue the run?
Yeah, you know what? I think he's lifted everyone as well. And, you know, they beat Maitland today. They're in the box seat. If they beat Maitland today, they'll be in fourth spot, I reckon, by the end of today.
And they'd have a lot of desire in that match. Magic, they were beaten 7-0 by Maitland on their home patch in round 9. An embarrassing loss, really, wasn't it? Yeah. 4 penalties.
And Ruben spoke about, you know, they didn't have any luck in the first round. But to be honest, I thought they were playing poorly. But they've really, you know, kick-started the second half of the season and they've been superb. And you know what, if they make the 4, which I think they will, I wouldn't like to be coming up against them in the semi-finals.
No, that's exactly right. And the other team that's really come into form the second half of the season is Hamilton Olympic. So it'd be interesting to see if those two, we speak about momentum a lot, but if those two teams come up against each other, that would be a cracking match.
And what Magic don't want here is a Valentine victory, because we talk about Magic making the finals. If Valentine win here, Olympic play Magic in the final round. So only one of those sides, they're either going to get a point each, or one side's going to come home empty-handed out of that one. So that will be fascinating, with Smudge and CT calling that one. Don't get too excited, Smudge, when Magic score. McGinley. Oh, McGinley just took the heels there. It's all right. There's Tommy Spencer, actually. You can see him just in the background. He's got his child in the pram.
Yeah, I spoke to Tommy before the game, and his ankle's he's been out for a few weeks with his ankle, unfortunately for him, so hopefully we make his way back very shortly.
He's a great player, isn't he? Very crafty, very crafty.
He did ask me the question if we're going to mention they're an ageing squad today, Bart, and I said I haven't mentioned it at all this year.
Well, Alec Faulkner over the top. Well, they're not anymore. They've freshened up the squad. They've freshened it up a bit. It's Tyler Warren. Bolchi's not too happy about that, is he?
But I haven't mentioned it once.
The stats don't lie. Stats don't lie. Here's Josh Murray.
Just on Reece Pettit, he's been...
Davies with a mistake. And probably
offside,
the one... Well, Jalen Brown offside.
Yeah.
And then flashes the shot wide. But probably the one player in the comp you don't want to make that kind of mistake and give that kind of opportunity to.
We seen him last week against Maitland at Valentine. What a great strike. Just on Reece Pettit, he's been superb today. He's been rock solid at the back for Valentine. Doesn't mean a standout player, has there? It's sort of...
Not overly at this point. There's a couple of players that have had solid halves though already, and 7 and 9 Swan have been pretty consistent about their business, and Hodges have been good as well. Jalen Brown's been busy. Chris Brown's another one that's I thought's worked pretty well.
Kyra finds Brown. McGinley is able to keep it in. He isn't.
But Smudge last week mentioned that I didn't tell a joke.
Thank God.
Do you want to hear a joke about paper?
Yes.
No,
not really.
No,
not
don't
really.
worry about it. It's terrible. Terrible?
Yeah. Smudge took a while to get that one.
Ever. Anyway, back to the goal kick. Tyler Warren.
Yep. Grant Brown with the flick on into Edwards. Here's Marcus Duncan. Chipping one back into the middle of the park. Swan and Pappas, and now Smith. Almost back to Matt Swan. Kyra shoulder to shoulder with Smith, who came off second best, did Scott Smith. Now Bird. Wide he goes for Pappas. And tries to cut one back in. And it will be another goal kick. So not much to write home about in this first half, where both sides will go into the sheds. Think about their plans for the second 45 minutes.
Look, what that plan is going to look like is assessing what's worked well for them, what hasn't, what your opposition's hurt, where they're hurting, and where you can expose them. That's what it's going to look like.
Here's Reece Cooper. And Josh Murray. Is there a last chance before the break? That was very important from Tom Davies to get his head on the end of that one. Grant Brown, Cooper. There's Marcus Duncan, and now for Reece Cooper. He's doing a lot of work through the middle of the park. Russell. Up the line, Chris Brown. To the captain, McGinley, who turns it over. Little scrappy it's getting before half-time. Free kick goes the way of Hamilton. And that will be the final play of the first half here at Darling Street. And both sides will head to the sheds, locked at 0-0. CT, a real arm wrestle, as it was last time we were here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is how it's all panning out. I mean, what worked for Olympic last time against Edgeworth, we were at this ground 2 weeks ago, was that they were able to congest the middle of the park. They've done that here. However, equally, Valentine are holding good midfield space as well. So what it's really doing here, Bart, is it's just making things a very congested turnover affair. So there's lots and lots of turnover. There's lots of reason for each team to think, all right, we need to open the game up, get some more width in the game, and when they do that, they'll have some more success. So getting the ball into the front runners and getting it wide is key for both teams second half.
Well, half-time here at Darling Street. Hamilton Olympic 0, Valentine Phoenix 0. We're going to head down to the pitch. Damien Smith is with Kyle Hodges.
Okay, we've got Kyle Hodges, Hamilton Olympic captain. Mate, what are your thoughts on the first half?
Very scrappy. Yeah, both teams aren't getting in the game. It's just end-to-end. Yeah, it's terrible. No one's really taken a hold of it, and hopefully we can come out second half a bit better.
Yeah, so what do you think Bolch will say at half-time?
Just stop pushing the final pass. It just seems we're trying to score off every ball, little flicks up front. We just need to get a foot on it, bounce it, and just keep it simple.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks, mate. All the best.
Cheers.
Back to you, Bart.
Thoughts on that match this afternoon up there at Cook Square Park?
Mate, very balmy afternoon at Cook Square Park in Maitland, in which Broadmeadow Magic have had the better of the chances and currently lead 2-0. Probably a couple of minutes to go before half-time. There was a nasty head clash in the 35th minute between Alex Kanarowski and Matt Thompson. Alex got bandaged up, but unfortunately for Maitland, Matt Thompson was escorted from the field and has since been taken to the room, so not in a good way. So, some great enterprising play by Broadmeadow Magic. Mitch Roxburgh's having a day out. Set up the first goal with a great ball through down the right-hand side to James Virgili, who duly converted. That was in the 11th minute, and then probably these around the 14th minute mark. Another break down the right-hand side.
A left edge.
And too elusive. That was brilliant. He got past three players, and what a ball. And we only just said earlier, CT, the ball he crossed him, which was cleared off the line probably a few minutes earlier, was a superb ball.
Yeah, well, that previous one he hit with absolute intent. It went about knee height like a bullet. This one here, his easy option was just to lay it off inside right here as we're going. But he just went through, cut straight through the middle, hot knife through butter, and bang, straight into the oncoming path and goal.
And they have been on tilt in this second half, Hamilton, haven't they?
Hey, and we said, that's what I said, I think Bolch needs to make a change pretty soon, but every time Jalen Brown gets the ball, he looks dangerous. It's every time.
Well, look, he's scored a lot of goals. He's been in everything for him. I remember Bolch saying to me at the beginning of the year, this guy's the real deal, and he was a handful.
I was talking to Robert Virgili.
Here's Reece Cooper. Now to Pappas. Smith. Pappas. So they've got to respond here, Hamilton Olympic. That's the first goal they've conceded in over 5 hours of football. And Reece Cooper whips one in. And this is what Valentine have done so well this season. They've performed in these matches against sides that in years gone past they would have struggled against.
That's right. But you know what? Defensively, they've been rock solid. And the game's been sort of stop-start. There hasn't been free-flowing. I think the most passes I counted, that was for Olympic, was about 7 passes. It's been turnover after turnover. You know what? That probably suits Valentine.
He scored some... sorry, CT, I'll let you go. Jalen Brown almost a chance there. I was just going to say about Josh Murray. Just his second goal of the season. He scored versus Western in round 11. That was his opening goal this season. That was an important goal as well. That was that match where Dean Pettit scored the winner for Valentine in the first half. In the second half, I should say. Stoppage time.
Olympic 0, Valentine 1.
So is there a change
Look, didn't have a great
Still no
view,
change for
but,
McBulge.
sorry, on that strike on goal, it looked like it maybe caught at the top of his boot. But either way, it was enough to steer it into the net.
He got himself in the position, didn't he?
Well, that's it, and he timed his run perfectly to be there as it was required, and that's the big thing in football when you're coming into the box is timing your runs.
Scott Smith turns it over to Edwards, and here come the Phoenix. Buoyed by that goal, Jalen Brown. Almost through to Chris Brown as well. Smudge was up again.
That would have been a superb ball.
Tom Davies to Bird.
I will say he's an impressive player, Jalen Brown.
And Chris Brown, just the way he reads those balls as well.
But we talk
Pappas into the middle. Smith was nearly on the end of it.
What was impressive about that ball from Brown was he hit it intentionally on the side of his foot to
spin it back.
To put some spin on, to put some hold. He's just overhit it, but technically it's a very difficult thing to do. And the fact that he's got that mindset gives you the level of confidence that he's running with at the moment. You can see he's just playing with great intention.
Here it is. Smudge was talking about it before, and it will be Kane Goodchild. Are you thinking Scott Smith's the man? No, he's to bring off Grant Brown.
I'll be leaving Scott Smith on there. They need goals. They need goal scorers on there.
So the saviour last time against the Phoenix.
Replacement in the Olympic team, number 12, Grant Brown.
Kane Goodchild heads onto the park. So will it be a change of shape here? Or will Kane Goodchild go up the front and maybe Reece Cooper just shift into the middle and they might.
Cooper's coming on the right. That's a bag.
And here is Cooper quickly onto the ball. Just a couple of positional changes from Hamilton. Swan. Whitey goes for Goodchild for his first touch straight into the middle. It was a dangerous ball. McGinley.
Good move by Bolts to bring Goodchild on. I thought they needed it.
Now Josh Murray finds Jalen Brown. Moved into the corner, but here's McGinley. Threading the pass. Again, it's Brown in towards Chris Brown. Hodges' header is only as far as the goal scorer, Josh Murray, who played it straight to Matt Swan. Matt Paul.
McGinley's done well in the second half. He's gone on the ball a lot more. Actually, the whole Valentine set up is sort of, haven't they? They've just been a bit more positive. And
what does Darren Sills do here? Such an important goal that is to give them on the live ladder, or to allow them on the live ladder to jump up above Hamilton. But what does he do here? Does he play a little more defensive, or does he continue to attack? Here's Andrew Swan.
You continue
heavily
to attack.
hit ball to Pappas and Faulkner over the sideline.
You continue to attack, but what I know he would have done at half time is said, guys, if you want to play semi-football, this is about the second half. If you want to play, you want to be a part of it, you've done everything all year, and now you go out second half and you must win. Everything we've practiced, everything we've talked about, all the combinations you've worked on, we go out and do it now, otherwise you probably won't play semi-final football. Peter McGuinness, the first thing he said when he sat down, he said, haven't Valentine come out firing, and couldn't agree more.
Well,
and it's been the opposite for Olympic, hasn't it? They've come out a little bit flat.
The thing is, you can't be surprised by it, can you? Because they've been so good all season. And everyone expected them this afternoon to falter. They haven't.
Game's not over yet, Bart.
Just yet.
Don't speak too soon.
Here's Goodchild. But they still lead this match, Smudge, and that's the thing.
Yeah. They've been
a
impressive
lot of people
all year.
expected Hamilton Olympic to come here and get the job done easily. As McGinley, Kyra slides through the middle.
Goes all right, Kyra. Just needs to get him fit.
Darts away from Hodges and then finds Brown. Huge moment. Jalen Brown. Kyra slips over. Is that a moment that we put an asterisk next to and remember at the end of the match? That was a gilt-edged chance for Valentine to make it 2-0. Pappas. Jalen Brown shot. Brilliant save from Tyler Warren. We have to say that as well.
Oh, yeah. He stood strong too, didn't he? But the combination.
And here come Olympic all of a sudden. Goodchild.
Oh, Goodchild.
Wilson Edwards. Over towards Marcus Duncan.
I think Valentine need another goal.
I agree with that. I I don't think a goal will be enough this afternoon. Trent Nash is going to play advantage. Daniel Bird got cut down. Davies with Kane Goodchild, Scott Smith and Reece Cooper. Reece Pappas also up there. You don't see Hamilton Olympic being kept scoreless, do you? And it's the final 15 minutes where they've scored a lot of their goals this season. The best side in the final 15 minutes. Here's Goodchild. Goodchild! Oh, what a finish. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Kane Goodchild scores a goal that Hamilton really needed, and that celebration by Michael Bolt shows you just how important that goal is.
What a finish. Valentine won.
Yeah, absolutely, and what a substitution. What a great move from Bolcher to bring him on at the right time. You could see his team were coming a little bit in the flat stage, and Jalen Brown running all sorts of havoc. Well, he brought his own havoc on, and that's in the form of Kane Goodchild. And you're right, Smudge, what a finish. As he gets on the ball, just able to elude players and just pop it in the corner. That's what he does.
Do you question, well, great move to bring on Goodchild, but you also go, well, maybe he could have started this afternoon and scored earlier.
Look, maybe he could have. However, you know, that's just, he's moved his squad around, he's made some choices, and you know what? Maybe he doesn't, maybe they're not 1-1, who knows? But what I do know is that Goodchild is in the mood, you can see it, and his job's not done yet. He's looking for more. And
we spoke about it, Smudge, about putting a man like Kane Goodchild on the bench and saying how it lifts them, because he doesn't want to start on the bench, and you can see that from him here. Look at him whipping this ball in. Scott Carter with the save. It's inspired Kane Goodchild, hasn't it?
Oh, for sure.
And he's ensured in 5 minutes here that he may not play on the bench for the rest of the season, because he has just been dynamite.
Oh, what
Jalen Brown. Valentine have not gone away at all. Chris Brown. And what a moment that was before Reece Kyra. We said, Smudge, that they really needed another goal.
Yeah, the way the game was setting up, they definitely needed another goal.
Can they find one now? After scoring and then now it being level. Here's Swan. Along the carpet to Daniel Bird. Set up for a frenetic final 22 minutes, I should say. Andrew Swan. It's a pirouette. Finds his brother and then gets back on the ball and finds Matt Swan again. Almost threads it through for Scott Smith. Score update at Cook Square Park. It is still 2-1. Broadmeadow leading Maitland. Both games heating up. And that one has started a little later than this one, so there's probably about 4, and the injury to Matt Thompson as well.
Yeah,
so
they said it was about a 10-minute stoppage for Matt Thompson when he I think he split his head open.
So if you haven't heard, Matt Thompson with a head clash with
Alex Kantarovski.
Wilson Edwards.
CC dropping his water everywhere on us.
Well, I think I gave it a bit of a bump. Tyler Warren. It was lucky it didn't go all over you, Smudge. It's Cooper. Out of Pappas.
Oh,
Reece Pappas starts past a couple, finds Cooper, and Carter comes out and claims the ball. Here's Swan. Down the right edge.
We talk about Reece Cooper again. I love him when he's a little bit deeper, running beyond the back four. He's a hard man in the track. He's very elusive. Chris Brown making way.
And Alex Serapis, a former Hamilton Olympic player. He played in the 2015 grand final for them against Edgeworth.
Had a good game, Chris Brown.
He has been very good, hasn't he?
Yep.
That he has.
Replacement in the Valentine team, number 5, Chris Brown, is replaced by number 7, Alex Sedevas.
Well, here we go. Michael Bulch is... Marcus Duncan's leaving the park. Cody Lucas coming on.
Looks like he's injured, Marcus Duncan. Because he walked over,
Replacement in
signalled
the
the bolt
16,
just
number 5, Marcus
earlier.
Duncan, has been replaced by 15, Cody Lucas.
Looking a good way.
No. Talking to Daniel Miners, he hurt his ankle. He felt a pop go in his ankle, but it looks like it's just ankle ligament sprain, so he might be right for next weekend against Edgeworth.
So it's back to the situation we've been in for much of the match, being at 1-1. So it was only a little 5-minute period where Valentine were ahead, and Alex Serapis' first moment in the match is to give away a free kick, cutting down Daniel Bird. Inside 20 minutes to go in this one. I'll tell you what, I'm nervous right now about that game up at Cook Square Park. It's on a knife's edge, isn't it?
So is this
Could
one.
go anyway, as is this one.
What a round of football, isn't it? This could really determine the outcome of the season.
Smudge, you and I have done the ladder predictor on the NPL site. Reece Pappas.
A few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago. Cooper, well blocked by Riley Russell. Swan. And Kyra lets it run over for what will be a corner.
Yes, that was about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
About 3 or 4 weeks ago, we did the ladder predictor, Smudge and I, and we came down to these two matches.
Yep.
These two matches deciding who makes the finals.
And we're thinking 36 points.
Davies tries to...
You should be safe with 36 points.
36.
That's what we're
that
thinking.
is incredible, isn't it?
Which, if you look at the ladder, Lambton and Edgeworth on 39, Lambton on 36, should be safe for the 4. A win today from Olympic will get them 37. That should get them safe.
But they're not at the moment.
No.
35. Olympic are 35 at the moment. Edgeworth 33. Magic on the live ladder. They are on 33. So tight.
Oh.
Here it is, curled in again. And Magic's for and against is better than Valentine, isn't it? Just.
Got one goal, yes.
Boys, just want to have a quick tribute to Graham Jennings just on the screen right now. Graham Jennings, former Australian player, but from Newcastle. I think he's coming off screen, but you've got his image there now. We'll get back to the game's footage. Graham was in attendance yesterday at the Adamstown Rosebuds Old Boys Day, and he's had a wonderful career. He's one of Newcastle's finest. I don't think many people would disagree with that, and that was actually echoed by the amount of people going to pay tribute to him yesterday. He's a very humble guy. What he did do, just to go through his career, he played at Adamstown Rosebuds, Sydney Olympic, Sydney Croatia, RPA Leichhardt, then on with the Breakers, Smudge, which I think you might have come across him there, and at Adamstown Rosebud where he finished his career.
Yeah.
He played mostly with Sydney Olympic, where he played 166 games, and then 89 games for Sydney Croatia and 74 for RPA Leichhardt, which is huge in itself. But if that's not enough, he played for Australia in the Socceroos and was a highly capped member of that squad and played 44 times for Australia at senior level. What a great opportunity. I was speaking to him yesterday, boys, and you just think people come and go in our game, but someone that's contributed like he has, I just thought it was fitting to pay a tribute to him, because he's not only been a great footballer in his own right, but also a wonderful role model for both junior and senior players. So wanted to pass that one out to him, and feel privileged to be able to do that.
Yeah, thanks for that, CT.
Yeah, he was, honestly, I played with him. He's a great fella, a funny guy, and what a great moustache back in the day.
Oh, terrific, isn't it?
That is world class, isn't it?
Yeah. Also known as Flash. He was an absolute gem of a bloke.
I'll tell you why he's known as Flash. I've known him since birth, really. I'm going to tell you why is because he's my cousin. But the reason he was known as Flash, he was originally a left winger, and he was revolutionary in the way that he changed the game in Australia, because he was put into a left fullback position, and left fullbacks in those days, you just stayed in your own spot.
Oh.
What he did was he was encouraged by his coach to get forward and attack, and he became revolutionary by the fact that he was overlapping into the left wing position, and now forms what we see in a 3-5-3-2, your wing backs, and he was very pivotal in the way that the game has changed in that sense.
It's Brown speed, but that's the thing, CT. Left back, just find a good left back. Very tough, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. I watched him, as I said, he was my cousin. As a child, I watched him, and he was doing some stuff that other people weren't in that overlapping. So he wouldn't have seen himself as a left fullback as such. Sure, he had a defensive responsibility, but his job was to attack and score goals, and that's what he did well. And he had an excellent cross and a wonderful passing range, and that's why his longevity in the Australian squad was what it was.
And you couldn't meet a nicer bloke off the park, could you see, too?
Absolutely. And as I said at Old Boys Day yesterday, just finish it off.
Smith almost on the end of it. Here's Scott Carter.
To finish it off is the amount of people that were going over to him and wanted to have a chat and say hello to him. Very, very humble human.
Reece Pettit for me at the back for Valentine has been rock solid. First half and second half.
As he has been all season.
He's had a tremendous season. And this guy, he's a good player.
He's just been absolutely outstanding, particularly in the second half.
Here's McGinley.
Even his work off the ball in shutting down, and even just shutting down Tyler Warren just earlier to make him kick it out. That's a sign of a...
And speaking of which, we have our Sports Click Man of the Match. We were going to have Joel Grinnell here today, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. And he's done a great job, Smudge.
Yeah, Joel, they had a big bonding session yesterday at Lambton Jaffers because they had the bias, so unfortunately I think it's still going, so he couldn't make it here today. So, Sports Click's come on board for the final part of Bar TV's year, and the man of the match receives a $50 Puma voucher at Sports Click. So, and semi-finals is a $100 voucher.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, yep, cool. And got us decked out in the Sports Click Puma gear, and we appreciate the support there.
So Luke Willard just coming onto the ground. Another former Jaffers player out there.
Great
14
ball
for the Phoenix. Quickly into action. Kyra peeling for the handball. And just a bit of miscommunication between Paul and Willard. It won't matter. Serapis across the face into his opposite number. It will be a corner kick.
And just on Sports Click, if you're looking for any Puma gear, go and see Joel up at. He's got a shop just off the Highfields Azuri Club up at Highfields.
Yeah, just adjacent to the new gym there.
The concept.
Pretty impressive gym, actually.
There it is, called in. Hodges with the header away. Surprising to note as Faulkner hits this one. Here's Willard.
Offside.
Just offside. It's surprising to note here, this is Valentine's. This is just their third match away from Carl Oval since April. So they have been at Carl Oval a lot. Of course, they started the season with a lot of away matches due to Carl Oval not being ready. Scott Smith off and Morsa Kamara comes on in 33. So surprising, they've played 9 of their last 11 at home.
And they're there next week against Edgeworth.
They are there next week. That's their final home match of the season. They play Western away in the final round. The penultimate round next week.
And boys, Harry's...
Here's Kamara. He's very, very quick on his
sharp,
feet.
Isn't he? Yeah.
Willard over there against the sideline. Smudge.
Harry Stitzel play of the day. Oh, what a great ball.
Jalen Brown. Serapis was unmarked over on the left. Davies kicks the ball away. Should have that been a yellow, boys?
CT. I think Trip Nash has done well. No yellow cards today, so he sort of kept the cards in his pocket, which is always good. Yeah, just on Harry Snitzel play of the day. Harry Snitty's beautiful Snitties up there, aren't they? CT, the old famous with sweet chili mustard cucumber.
Yeah,
is my favourite.
It's a great meal and good value. We love our Harry Schnitties.
So play of the day, it's a pretty tough one at the moment.
Here's Kamara trying to square it up. Carter takes it nicely. There it goes long. He tries to knock it over the top. And Tom Davies. Will be a free kick to Hamilton Olympic. Reece Cooper. Now to Davies. Tyler Warren up towards the line. Kamara. Kamara gets shoved to ground by Faulkner. No whistle from Trent Nash, which surprises the Olympic faithful. They're getting a little physical now. Here's Cooper. Davies.
So we're talking about yesterday, Jalen Brown going for a flight on the Cessna with Darren Sills, and Darren Sills did mention to me that he's got aspirations to be a astronaut, and which you don't know with Darren Sills. Sometimes he gives us a few porky pies.
Well, plenty of times.
Plenty of times. Yeah. So he always gives a straight face when he's telling us, but yeah, it's all true. So we wish him well in his aspirations.
Well, you know what? Like sometimes you hear things like this, and you do, especially coming from Silsey. You just expect that to be the case because he's a practical joker. But you're in a case like this where you've got someone like Jalen Brown. To be honest, we don't know him.
Good shoulder away. Russell.
And to be fair, if that actually is the case, then what a wonderful human he is. And maybe, his talent is far beyond his ability on the football park, Smudge.
Oh, to be honest, I think that'll be a great aspiration. An astronaut, I've been intrigued by outer space, and because I did science and all that sort of stuff at university, so I think full credit to him.
I think there's you there, and I think we're talking about another level. I'm not sure about the qualifications required to become an astronaut, but we might do some more research. So sorry if there's been an offence there to anyone, but
yeah, that's what I wanted to say, CTL. We just got a text about Jalen wanting to be an astronaut. Now, we apologise if we offended anyone for it, but Silsey is a serial joker. He's a serial joker. So
and he gave you a stitch up last year.
He's stitched me out plenty of times. So I just want to put that out there. We didn't mean to offend anyone by those comments. So,
but seriously, let's find a bit more out about Jalen Brown here off the park, because this is interesting.
Here's Reece Kyra. Willard. Now Reece Cooper. Takes them on. Swan. Here's Riley Russell into the middle of the ground. Here's Jalen Brown. Into the hand of Swan. Then Russell gets cut down. There will be no free kick. It's getting really tense here at Darling Street now. Pappas with the outside of his boot. And now Edwards, shoulder to shoulder with Bird. Still Bird across the face. Kamara lets it run on. Pappas. Shot blocked by Faulkner.
What a
Cooper
ball.
in towards Goodchild. Here's Pappas. He has an air swing. And then, gee, it's getting really physical as Cooper gets bundled to ground. Michael Bulchers out of the dugout, standing on the touchline. The very small technical area here at Darling Street.
The crowd are loving it here as well.
Davies, and now Scott Carter takes it out of the air. Cody Lucas over the touchline. Well, Tommy Spencer, what's he doing over there? He's trying to catch that ball, and I thought he might have re-injured himself there.
Like that's his daughter as well, I think.
He did that with a limp.
Yep.
What's he? He's injured over there, and he's over there with Sean Pratt as well, who's also injured for Hamilton Olympic.
Yeah, so just around the grounds, Magic 3, Maitland at 1.
So that basically will end Maitland's season now. They can only reach 34 points. They play Lambton next weekend, and then Adamstown in the final round, who won yesterday at Charlestown, Adamstown. Other result yesterday, Edgeworth, as Damien Zane spoke to us earlier, 3-0 over Western. McGinley, Faulkner. Can someone break the deadlock here? It was 1-1 last time I met in round 9. It's 1-1 again here now. Jalen Brown set up the opening goal for Valentine. It was Josh Murray. He's now come from the field, Josh Murray. He scored the opener. And then Kane Goodchild, who came off the bench, scored just a few minutes later for Hamilton Olympic. And up at Cook Square Park, Magic with the lead against Maitland by 3-1. Pappas curling it in. Carter comes out with the punch.
Carter's been brilliant again today. He's been rock solid, hasn't he?
Serapis. So as it stands at the moment, Broadmeadow Magic will be in the top 4 by the end of the weekend, but they'll be level on points with Valentine. Here's Jalen Brown. Lovely move to evade Cooper. Cooper returns. Brown keeps his feet. Still Brown. Squares it up. McGinley hits it. He can't keep it down. Scott McGinley.
Jalen Brown again. He is a high quality player, isn't he?
Oh, he's just hot at the moment.
Twinkle toes. Yeah,
he's absolutely ringing
high
hot.
quality player.
Well, I'll be very surprised if he doesn't win Player of the Year.
Yeah, he's
very surprised. Yeah. He had. I know we haven't seen many. Well, I've been to a few more Valentine games than you two on the Saturday at Carl Oval. But of all the matches I've seen, this is his best performance all season. He has been head and shoulders above anyone else on the park this afternoon, Jalen Brown.
Yeah, he's been very, very good.
The work that he did there in that lead-up just left that shot for McGinley. It looked like he had forever. It's just all purely through the work.
There's Kamara. Carter can't get there. Towards the back post. Bird, Swan, curling it. Over for a goal kick. Still 1-1. Less than 3.5 minutes to go, boys. So man of the match, I'm just going to say Jalen Brown. You cannot go past him.
For me, he's been absolutely brilliant. Every time he gets the ball, he looks dangerous. Every single time. Yep. But it's also his work off the ball, for me.
Here's Wilson Edwards searching for Brown. Up he goes. Wins the ball. Still going Brown. Kyle Hodges.
And it's his effort as well. He gives 100% in everything he does.
Willard.
Oh.
Now Russell under pressure from Kamara.
So what about our Harry Snitzel player of the day, boys? Any thoughts?
Yeah, it's a tough one at the moment. We know the move to bring Kane Goodchild on by Mick Bulch was a good one. McGinley pushing forward. Matt Paul there. Kyra gets away from Davies. He's very skillful as well, isn't he, Reece Kyra?
Yeah, the substitution from Bulch rates a mention there, and Harry Schnitzel player of the day. He brought on Goodchild right at the right time, and Goodchild goes on to score.
So Luke Willard. Swan with the header away. Kamara. Now Goodchild. Cooper. Snaps it over the top. Riley Russell. With his small frame, he's able to evade. Goodchild. Pettit's under a bit of pressure. Bird with the interception. Is this the moment for Hamilton Olympic? And Pettit hits for Daniel Bird. And it raises the roof at Darling Street. And that may well have just put the nail in the coffin of Valentine's season. What a gut-wrenching blow for them. And what a moment for Daniel Bird.
Boys, I was just about to say what a great game Pettit was having at the back. And he was
under pressure, wasn't he? It was the pressure from Swan and Goodchild, and then Bird finishes.
Yeah, great finish by Bird.
It was an ice-cool finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, great finish.
He hasn't scored as many this season. Only his second of the season, Daniel Bird. Last season, he scored 5 goals, and he scored some big ones as well. Faulkner tries to knock it on. McGinley. Now Reece Pettit. Wilson Edwards. Goes across the park. They led 1-0 Valentine. They're down 2-1. And it's another goal in the final 15 minutes for Hamilton Olympic. The comeback specialists have done it again, maybe. We'll just wait before we finish that line, as Willard can't keep the ball in. That is 12 goals scored and just 2 conceded in the final 15 minutes this season. Here is Goodchild. So at the moment, Hamilton Olympic, they will be playing finals with this result. As Goodchild takes down Edwards. Just getting a little bit tense now. Faulkner. Serapis.
So looking at player of the day, boys, my vote is for Michael Bulch for the substitution on Kane Kajoy, but also for the last 5 or 6 games where they've won it in the death, or they've got the point in the death.
Here's Swan. There's Sam Griffin and Darren Sills. They will be absolutely gutted right now. Similar feeling up at Maitland as well. They're down 3-1 against Magic. Kyle Hodges with the header away. Now, wasn't there a roar when Daniel Bird scored? We haven't had many late winners in the matches of the round this season, but we've got one this afternoon as Pettit comes down hard on Kamara.
And looking at the live table, this will push Hamilton into second spot.
So the minor premiership race,
He's still on.
Don't put the line under that just yet. The line through it. 91.5 gone, so they're just 2 points behind Edgeworth.
And as you said, Bart, Maitland are gone.
With Kamara. That's a piece of skill. Is there another nail? Another bit of icing maybe on the cake for Hamilton. Reece Cooper. Unfortunate there for him. So, Reece Pettit. They're going to have to do what only Lambton and Hamilton have managed to do this season. Valentine next week if the scoreline remains the same. They're going to have to beat the Eagles. They only went down 1-0 to them earlier in the season. Maybe not. Here's Wheeler. Gets brought down. And it won't be a penalty to Valentine. Wow. Nash waves it away. Yeah, I thought it was a little 50-50. From first glance, I don't know if Willard made a bit of it. Was he given a ball back? I thought he may have gone down a bit easily there. It's a good child. Across the 18. I may be proved wrong. We'll try and have a look at it. As good as Scott Carter just goes long. This one towards the sideline. It was a pressure call from Trent Nash, who calls proceedings to an end this afternoon at Darling Street. And the wait goes on for a Valentine victory against Olympic as they seal their spot, Hamilton, in the finals. 5 straight for Olympic, and they are undefeated now in 13 of their last 14. Michael Bolcher's men have hit top gear just at the right time of the season and sit second going into the final 2 weeks of the competition. Valentine's final sites, well, they have hit a near fatal blow. They're not gone yet, but it will be a tough task for them from here. They will need a point at least out of their meeting with Edgeworth next week, or their hopes will be dashed. So they need 4 points from their final 2 matches. That's the equation for Valentine at least. And that could get even more difficult if Magic win next week and then get a point off their match against Olympic. It could even move up to a cut-off of 37 points for the top 4. It's just been such an incredible season. So Jalen Brown is our man of the match this afternoon. It just shows you how well he has played this afternoon for him to be man of the match, in the losing side. But it was that tight this afternoon. 0-0 at the break. 2-1 Hamilton Olympic lose at full time. We're going to head down to Chris Turner. He's got the man of the match.
Hi and welcome back. We've got our Sports Click man of the match, Jalen Brown. Jalen, what a disappointing in the end. Obviously, you came out firing in the second half. You guys did particularly well, yourself as well, obviously. How it must be gut-wrenching right now.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It sucks to lose that late, especially when we had chances to finish it. I had one. I should have finished. It sucks.
Yeah, well, I guess that's what it is. But you know what? You personally have had a sensational year, and Ben Holm has been saying that he's been watching you pretty much most weeks, and he said today's the best game you've had. Both Damien Smith and I don't disagree that you're clearly the player of the match for us. Where to from here? You about next year, or do you stay in Australia?
I mean, I'd like to be around. I had a good season, so I want to see if I can maybe try for the A-League and see what I can get, and we'll just kind of take it from there.
And if it is the A-League, where would you like to be? Is it somewhere, Newcastle's your preference or elsewhere?
Oh, I don't have a preference. I mean, Australia has been great so far everywhere I've been, so as far as I know, anywhere is good for me.
Look, you work off the ball, some of the runs you've made, the balls that you've played in, opportunities you've created. That's why you're our Sports Click Man of the Match. Congratulations. And we look forward to watching you, hopefully, through the semi-final series.
Hopefully. Thanks.
Cheers. And we'll head back into the shed right now, Bart, and we'll see you in there shortly for the Harry Schnitzel Play of the Day.
Thanks for that, CT. We'll head into the sheds with Smudge, who is going to chat to Michael Balch for our Play of the Day. Almost full-time up at Maitland, 3-1 at the moment. Broadmeadow Magic lead it. So the ladder at the moment after 18 matches played, or I should say after 20 rounds, 18 matches played by Edgeworth, Hamilton, Lambton and Valentine. Broadmeadow and Maitland, so all of those top 6 sides have played 18 now, so it's a pretty even look at the ladder. So Edgeworth 39 points, Hamilton 37, Lambton 36, Valentine 32, I should say Lambton 36. We'll come to the sheds here. Hamilton's on 33. Celebrating there in the sheds. Damien Smith is with Michael Balch. Let's head down to him now.
Okay, we have Michael Balch as the winning coach. Michael, what a tough game.
Oh, look, it was always going to be. Fellow have been doing really well this year. They worked really hard across the whole park. Jalen Brown's quality up front for them. Probably the 3 chances they had all come through him. You know, one little bit of space sets up the goal. Yeah, look, happy to get the 3 points, really, mate. Take it any other week.
Yeah, mate, I thought your substitution today, and this is why we're giving you our Harry Schnitzel Player of the Day. The substitutions have been good child on at that time. He comes on and scores for you, mate.
Oh, he was about to bash me if he didn't get on the field, mate. He said, Balch, you look at the time. So, look, he's quality goodie. Hard to leave a player like that on the bench. Work today.
Yeah, you know what? We thought it was a big call leaving him on the bench. However, it did work today.
Yep. Yeah, look, we played Coops up front, probably didn't have the impact we wanted. You know, he does play a lot better deeper. Yeah. We tried to go with 2-10 while it didn't work. Look, he changed the game when he come on Goody, and then Birdie, great finish from Birdie at the end, set up from Goody. So, yeah, look, real happy with how it panned out. Could have backfired, but end of the day, yeah, you live by your decisions and die by them.
Yeah, that's right. Now, also, you're 2 points behind Edgeworth with 2 games to play. What are your thoughts on that premiership race?
Oh, it's Edgeworth to lose, mate. We can just win our last 2 games, and if Valo's fighting for their life next week, who knows? Yep. They could get 3 points against Edgy. We win, we go to the top, but we're just worrying about ourselves. That virtually secures the semi-final spot. So, yeah, we'll put our heads down now and just look towards playing Lake Macquarie next week.
Yep, and last game, Magic winning today over Magic, puts them in the top 4. So, you got Magic last game, so you got Lakes and Magic. Thoughts on the last 2 games?
Oh, look, we'll just worry about Lakes next week. Magic's 2 weeks away and then could happen between now and then, mate. So, yeah, just concentrate on the next game ahead.
Okay, Bolster, congratulations on another Houdini effort. Again, it's happened a few times this year, but, mate, this is why we're giving you Player of the Day with your great tactical coaching skills and substitutions, mate.
About the players, you know that, mate. Look, they go out there, mate, they work their arse off and they go 90 minutes every week. That's why we've won these last few games in the last couple of minutes, because they're a great character, great mob, mate, and they go to the end of the game.
Yeah, is your throat a bit croaky because you've been screaming all match? Or
a bit sick, mate.
A bit sick.
Yeah, all right.
All right, mate, thanks for your time and all the best next week. Over to you, Ben.
All right, Smudge. Actually, what we might do is we'll go out here. Let's go out here. We'll try not to take... I think they're Scott Smith's boots, that Matt Swan was wearing. But, yeah, we'll wrap it up from just outside of the Olympic sheds. Boys, wow. Gee, that second half. First half was a little hard on the eye, but the second half, that has taken it out of me.
You know what? That was a semi-final match, you could tell, because the first half, everyone was sort of sizing each other up. Then the game opened up in the second half.
Valentine had a chance to go 2-0 up, and it was a great save by Tyler Warren. However, full credit to Bolchi and Hamilton Olympic for clawing their way back and winning the game. It's a valuable 3 points for them.
CT, and your thoughts?
I think exactly the same. I mean, first half was a little bit... there was a lot of turnover. The midfield was too congested, and so they couldn't really get a flow on. We said about opening them up top to bottom, left to right. I think both teams did that. And look, to be fair, Valentine came out the better of the two sides probably first 20, 30 minutes. Then, as Bolchi has said, they just hadn't stopped and they kept going and going. Great substitution by Bolch on Goodchild. And look, in the end, there's a lot of relieved players in there, and I think it's a great result for Olympic.
Now, Smudge, next week we are going to head over to Carl Oval down at Belmont, but Valentine's home ground. Can they do what only two sides have done this season in the NPL and beat Edgeworth?
After their performance in the second half, I think they're a chance. Definitely on the big open pitch. They've got a great record there, but Edgeworth, they're fighting for the premiership. They're going to be very hard to beat. CT?
Yeah, look, Edgeworth, everything to gain for them, 3 in a row. I'm not sure you're the stats man when that last happened in history, but, Zane and the troops, they'll be fired up. It'll be very, very difficult. But you know what? If Valentine can repeat that second half, they're in with a good show.
Well, Smudge will know that stat. Magic won 3 grand finals in a row, but they didn't win 3 minor premierships in the same year. Yep. So, yes, I'll have to go back to the stats book to find that one. But that's full-time here at Darling Street Oval. Full-time it was Hamilton Olympic